So good day to everyone. So we will start with our lesson. For our first week of discussion, we'll talk about the introduction to accounting. The book that we are going to use is The Fundamentals of Accounting, in which Mr. Rafael M. Lopez Jr. is the author. So in his book, Introduction to Accounting is contained in 3 chapters. So for the first chapter, the accountancy profession and its development. The second chapter is about accounting and business, while the third chapter talks about accounting, the language of business. So don't worry, although it has 3 chapters, but these are only short chapters. So for this week, we must learn about the introduction to accounting. So accountancy profession. So I do believe that you have already heard of the accountants. So accountancy is not only one of the modest, less expensive, but also it is the most prestigious profession in the land today. So it is prestigious because a business wouldn't survive without an accountant. Everywhere you look, every place that you would go, you would always see business establishments. So therefore, the demand for accountants are high. So the nature of our profession in the accountancy profession is that there must always be confidentiality, meaning what transpired in the business, what happened, or information regarding the business, it must not leak out even to family members. For example, if I am the accountant of a certain business, whatever problems or business transactions of the establishment must be kept secret between the accountant and its owners. What is an accountant? Previously, in the probably around 20 years ago, an accountant can simply be anyone who is any 4-year course business degree holder. However, the Board of Accountancy has become stricter. Accountants will only be from uh, certified public accountants. So they are degree holders of the course Bachelor of Science in Accountancy. So it's not enough that you are a graduate of a BSA course or a BSA graduate, but you must also have taken and successfully passed the licensure exam. So accountants has a lot of job opportunities. So what are its job opportunities? We have here 4. So you may either choose public accounting, in which you will become a public accountant. You also have government accounting, private accounting, and you are in accounting education. So public accounting is where you have 2 options to choose from. It is either you will practice your profession as and join partnership with other accountants, or you will be employed in different firms. Like here in the Philippines, what is known here is SGV, the Punong Bayan and Araulio. We also have this Ampil Elises Ciudadano and Company and other auditing firms. So what would happen in public accounting is that you render services to the public or to the establishments for a fee, so you will be paid for your services. However, you are not an employee of a client company under audit, but you would assume the role as an independent entity. So being an independent entity, you are vested with freedom to exercise our own judgment in carrying out the business transaction or the engagement, and it should have independence and impartiality of the report that you prepare. So what are the works included in a public accounting? So it involves auditing. So auditing is the examination of financial statements and report or findings to the management. It also involves taxation, wherein you prepare the tax returns of the business. Aside from that, you would also prepare, or you work includes management services, wherein you design and install accounting systems. So if you will choose this field, public accounting, you will become a member of the Association of Certified Public Accountants in Public Practice, or otherwise known as ACPAP. In government accounting, so if you have seen or heard of government agencies or even LGUs or even GOCCs, those agencies have their own accountants. So you will be handling government transaction, or you will record the government transactions, and you will be called a government accountant. So once you choose this field, you will become a member of the Government Association of Certified Public Accountants, or the GACPA. The third career opportunities or the fields of accounting is that the private accounting. In this case, you will gain employment in private firms and hold positions as chief accountant, accounting manager, internal auditor, finance manager, or even the highest accounting officer of an enterprise, which is known as the controller. So if you will choose this field, you will become a member of the Association of Certified Public Accountants in Commerce and Industry, or the ACPAC. And the last field is accounting education. So if you have chosen this field, accounting education, you are a certified public accountant, and at the same time, you are teaching in educational institutions. Accounting subjects must be taught only by certified public accountants. So also in this field, these you could also handle, or you could also have the career opportunity under public accounting while you are in accounting education, or even in government accounting with accounting education, or private accounting with accounting education. So most of your teachers here in our university, in our accounting department, are practitioners. At the same time, they are under accounting education. So under this field, you will become a member of the Association of Certified Public Accountants in Education, or ACPAI. All of these career opportunities belongs to our main national professional organization, which is called the PICPA, or the Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Once you will pass the board exam and have taken the oath taking, you will be a member of the organization. So we also have professional values and ethics. So once you are already a certified public accountant, we have a code of professional ethics that we need to follow. Just like other professions, we have our code of ethics. So this Code of Ethics has been approved by the Board of Directors of ICPA, and the same has been adopted by the Board of Accountancy or the BOA, and finally approved by the Professional Regulation Commission or the PRC. So what are the fundamental principles included in this Code of Ethics? We have here the integrity, objectivity, professional competence, and due care, confidentiality, professional behavior, and technical standards. Under integrity, a professional accountant should be straightforward and honest in all professional and business relationships. Integrity also implies fair dealing and truthfulness. A professional accountant should not be associated with reports, returns, communications, or other information where they believe that the information may be, letter A, contains a materially false or misleading statement. B. Contains statements or information furnished recklessly. C. Omits or obscures information required to be included where such omission or obscurity would be misleading. So, you must have integrity. You must be honest at all times with the reports that you have rendered. Next fundamental principle is the objectivity. A professional accountant should not allow bias, conflict of interest, or under influence of others to override professional or business judgments. Professional competence and due care. A professional accountant has a continuing duty to maintain professional knowledge and skill at the level required to ensure that a client or employer receives competent professional service based on current developments in practice, legislation, and techniques. The professional accountant should act diligently and in accordance with applicable technical and professional standards when providing professional services. So professional competence has two separate phases. First is the attainment of professional competence, and second is the maintenance of professional competence. So usually when you would attain professional competence, it may either be you need to have a period of work experience or trainings, educations, or even the known CPD or continuing professional development. Next fundamental principle is confidentiality. A professional accountant should respect the confidentiality of information acquired as a result of professional and business relationships and should not disclose any such information to third parties without proper and specific authority unless there is a legal or professional right or duty to disclose. So basically, our main obligation is not to disclose any information to third parties or those parties who are not included or necessary in our engagement. However, if, like for example, there is a case and legally you are required to inform other parties regarding the financial matters of the business, that may be done if you are legally required. And last fundamental principle is professional behavior. A professional accountant should comply with relevant laws and regulations and should avoid any action that discredits the profession. So you must always protect your reputation, not only your reputation, but also the reputation of the profession. You do not do anything that could harm the image of the accountants. Next is the core competency framework for accountants. So In making the syllabus or even the curriculum of the subject, take note, being an accountant, you face the 4 years of education. You enrolled in a 4-year course, or in some schools that is in 5 years. So in creating those syllabus, we have our set of committee, which is our board of accountancy, who handles that. So aside from that, you are required to have this minimum core competencies for you to be able to become a certified public accountant. So first is knowledge. So in knowledge, it must cover how many? 4. You have general knowledge, organizational and business knowledge, information technology knowledge, and accounting knowledge. So general knowledge, you must know or have a competency in the English language. Why? Because the main medium of communication is English. A simple period, comma, or even the tenses of verbs, it would already change how you analyze the problem. So adaptability to Western business practices. So fortunately, we are already following the international standards. Level of training. Good capabilities in dealing with foreign partners. Why is this needed in dealing with foreign partners? Because most businessmen are foreigners. Next, knowledge is the organizational and business knowledge, wherein you must also know about administrative capability and efficiency, decision modeling, risk analysis and management, measurement, and industry and sector perspective. So about economics, quantitative methods, and business statistics, even the organization behavior, marketing, and operations management, you must know all those things. So basically, here in college, there is no minor and major subject because those subjects are all equally important, not only for the growth of your profession, but also for your personal growth. So, mga marketing, economics, even mga math subjects, those may not be accounting subjects, but they are related to our course. So even finance, management, those are very important. While for your related subjects, so you may think that these are only minor, but take note, you need personal growth. Next knowledge is the information technology knowledge or the IT knowledge. So if you have noticed, we are already going forward to technology. So we must know the latest practices, latest standards for business systems or even IT systems. We also have accounting knowledge. So you must have the basic knowledge of all of the accounting subject. You also need the advanced knowledge. So basically, the topics or the board subjects that you have, you must gain knowledge on that for you to be able to have the accounting knowledge. So mga laws and taxation, management advisory services, so far and afar, those subjects, auditing probes, auditing theory. So you must have those accounting knowledge. Next, skills. What are the skills that needs to be developed? So if you want to become an accountant in the future, you must have these 3 skills. Intellectual, which includes analytical or analysis, problem solving, and critical thinking. So take note, it does not say arithmetic. Why? We need the analytical portion of math. So problem solving, again, it did not say arithmetic because arithmetic is just plus, minus, divide, and multiply. We have the calculus for that. What is important is you understand the problem and you know how to attack the problem. That is problem solving with analysis. And critical thinking or strategic thinking, so that is a higher order of thinking, higher order of learning, so you must also have that. Next, interpersonal. This is where a CPA learns how to work in groups and being a team player. So a CPA must demonstrate attributes such as being a team player, persuasion, confidence, and diplomacy, discreetness, open mind and patience, capability for work, and ability to respond well to pressure. Then communication. So we must be good in communicating verbally or even orally, wherein we can explain financial, statistical, administrative matters, policies, procedures, regulatory matters, audit results at a level appropriate to the audience. We must also be able to ask clear, concise, and relevant questions. For what? For you to be able to obtain desired information to perform a task. And most importantly, you must be able to negotiate effectively. And lastly, we have the values. So values must concentrate on professional ethics and moral values. So the Accountancy Law of 2004. So you could research the complete text of this one. It shows or it threads what is needed to be done in how to become a CPA. So it includes the composition of the Board of Accountancy. It also includes the admission requirements to the CPA board examinations. So wherein, for you to be able to take the boards, you must be a Filipino citizen, has a good moral character, and a degree holder of Bachelor of Science in Accountancy. And you have not been convicted of any criminal offense involving moral turpitude. So basically, you must protect your reputation for you to be able to take the exam. Then it also includes the scope of CPA board exams, wherein we already have new subjects. The rating in the licensure exams, it's also stated there. And the components of the PFRSC, which is they are the Philippine Financial Reporting Standards Council. So we also have an amendment. So I have already sent the link, which was included in our notes for the resolution regarding the continuing professional development. It contains the number of units per area in which you need to have credit units. So as of now, we are required to have the 120 CPD units. Actually, we have been, it has already been a practice for a long period of time that we need to have CPD units, while the other professions, pag upa sila nagsugod. So it's not something new to us, but what they did is they just added more units for the for the certified public accountants. So here is the admission requirements. These were the four that I said. So these are the subjects for the board exam. So before we have 7. So right now we already have 6. So why is it's only 6? Because they have merged some subjects into one. Like for example, auditing. Before, it was a separate subject between auditing problems and auditing theory. Then we have management advisory services, taxation, Regulatory framework for business transactions. This is more on the laws. So we have different law subjects here in our university. Then financial accounting and reporting. This was previously known as practical accounting 1. So it includes accounting 4, 5, 5A. So that is your financial accounting and reporting. Then the advanced financial accounting and reporting, or otherwise known as the AFAR. So here we have the percentage weights for the subject. So auditing for the theory, that is 50%, while the problem solving or practical and competence, that's 50%. MAS, theory is 30%, practical or competence 70%, so it's more on problem solving. Taxation is 30%, but for the theory, but for the problem, that is 70%. Regulatory framework for business transactions, or commonly known as RFBT. So since that is more on laws, theory is 70% and you have 30% practical or competence. FAR, 30% theory, it's more on problem solving, so you have 70%. Also with a FAR, a little bit of theory, 30% and 70% problem solving. So, how to know whether you have passed the board exam? So, the ratings. You must have at least 75% overall average with not less than 65% in any subject. Meaning, even if all your scores, your 6 subjects has 75, even if your overall rating is 75, you still pass so long as there is no below 65. So, for example, you have 90, 80, 75, 70, 69, then 65. It's okay so long as you met the 75% overall average and you did not have below 65%. But if you acquired 75%, so for example, out of the 6 subjects, you have 2 which is 98, 1 89, another one 90, but the other 2 subjects is 64. So, you still failed. Why? Because you did not meet the 65% in any subject. So, it's okay that your grade per subject is 65 and above so long as your overall average is 75. But if your overall average is 75 or more, but you have a subject which is 64, so you still fail. So you'll also be called a conditional passer, or you're not yet a passer, but you are a conditional if majority of your subjects is 75%, while, meaning your overall score for all subjects is 75, but you should not have less than 65. However, if for example your scores for a majority of 6 is 4, 4 subjects is 75, 2 subjects is 74. So you're only conditional because you need to have 75% for all, at least 75% for all subjects. The results is within 10 days. If you are a conditional examinee, you are given within 2 years to take the remaining subjects. So, for example, 4 of the subjects you have passed 75 and above, but 2 subjects you are below 75 but above 65, so you are conditional. So, the 2 subjects you must take it within 2 years from the time that you took the board exam. So, for example, you took the exam November. Unfortunately, only overall score is 75, but 2 subjects is below 75 but higher than 65, so you are conditional. So for the next board exam, the usual schedule, if there was no pandemic, was May. So if you'll take your exam on May, you will only take the subjects where you got below 75, so only 2 subjects. But if, however, on that exam you failed to pass, so you still have a low score, or the overall score, including the new subjects that you took, so meaning, ang 6 subjects, if you'll get the average, it does not reach the 75 overall average, so you will be considered as failing the board exam. So you will actually, most people would say it's harder if you become a conditional examinee, because if, for example, for the 4 subjects you had only subjects na or scores na igo or ni 75, then there's a chance na magkumpiyansa ka. It could be nga you will not do much effort, or you have a higher effort that you need to catch up for the first 4 subjects that you passed. It's okay if you nakapamundo naka 99, 98, then you could simply have 65 subject for the 2 subjects that you failed. But then again, you could never be sure. You don't know your rating of the majority subjects that you have passed. So what you need to think lang is just do your best all the time. So failure to pass after 2 sets or 2 sets of exams, you are still allowed to take the exam only if you have taken a refresher course, which is 24 units. And only the accredited schools are allowed to give the refresher course counted for this retaking of an exam. So we have here the history or the birth of accounting standards. So you just need to know the definition or the meaning of the acronyms. So ASC, that is Accounting Standards Council. So ASC was created by PICPA. That was on November 18, 1981. So it is a standard-setting body which is tasked to establish and improve the generally accepted accounting principles or GAAP in the Philippines. The approved statements and relative interpretations of the ASC are known as SFAS, or Statement of Financial Accounting Standards, which will be effective only upon the approval of PRC and, unless indicated to the contrary, shall not be retroactive. So ASC is composed of 8 members, with 4 members nominated by PICPA and 1 each from SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, BSP or Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, PRC, Professional Regulation Commission, specifically the BOA, Board of Accountancy, and FINEX, Financial Executive Institute of the Philippines. So their term of office is for 2 years. So currently, we have the Republic Act of 92-98. You must know this. This is the Philippine Accountancy Act of 2004, wherein they created a new accounting standard setting body known as PFRSCs, or the Philippine Financial Reporting Standards Council. This has replaced the ASC. So consequently, the SFAS, or the Statement of Financial Accounting Standards, are now known as PAS, or the Philippine Accounting Standards. So PFRSC is composed of 15 members. 1 is the chairman and 4 representatives from different fields. So you could just search that. Then we have also the IASC. This is replaced by the IASP. So what is IASC? International Accounting Standards Council, which was replaced by International Accounting Standards Board. The approved statements of the IASC is known as the International Accounting Standards, IAS. So, for the approved statements of IASP, it's what you call International Financial Reporting Standards, or IFRS. So,